Hey everybody, I'm Captain Zeus and welcome to BP Fun. Today we're going to be doing a movie review for The Flash. Now, spoiler warning for those that have not seen it. I will be talking about some things that have happened in the movie that you'll probably want to not have spoiled for you. To start off, the story of this movie is not as confusing and lazy as I thought it was. I originally was thinking this was just going to be a crap show, an absolute mess of a movie, but the story actually makes a lot of sense, given that it's supposed to be its version of the Flashpoint paradox, and there's a lot of that in this movie. Obviously, Barry goes back in time to save his mom. There's a different timeline that's going to be ending that he's trying to save, get his powers back, go back to the present. That all is pretty concrete from the Flashpoint paradox, which is fine. I think story-wise, the movie was good. The ending could have been better, if we're being honest. Things could have made a little bit more sense. Like the universe resetting, I wish things were a little bit more concrete. Maybe the end credit scene actually giving like the birth of the new universe, so to speak. The end credit scene actually didn't make any sense. It was completely pointless. You could just skip it if I'm being honest. The humor in this movie was absolutely amazing. The movie was pretty freaking funny, if I'm being honest. It was really good. It wasn't like forced or anything like that. Ezra Miller does a great job acting. Regardless of who he is as a person, as an actor, he was absolutely amazing in this. Same thing with Michael Keaton Batman. I just loved all of the nods and nods back to his version of Batman, like all the little quips that they do and the little symbolisms, so to speak. It was great. Overall, it's a really enjoyable movie, and it's super entertaining with the humor, the action, and the story. The story at first, it seemed a little bit it seemed really fast-paced, which makes sense because it's a Flash movie, but then it kind of slows down a bit. Kind of like around the time Barry realizes he doesn't have his powers again, and then speeds back up. Visually, the movie was really bad visually for a majority of parts. Now, there are things that were really good visually. You know, the two Barrys, they did that pretty well. The Batman scenes, they did pretty well as also. But there was a good chunk of the movie that was just terrible CGI. Like when Barry goes back, I think, into the Speed Force, or like the time where he's time traveling, that whole area looks so bad. It is garbage CGI. I was not a fan of the crappy CGI. It kind of killed the vibe for me a bit, because I'm just like, oh, that looks obviously fake. And this movie does rely on CGI a lot, which is pretty obvious. Now, also, I want to talk about some cool things. The antagonist, I'm not sure if it's Savitar or technically Red Death. I think it's Red Death, but it's weird because it's Red Death and Savitar because it's technically Barry. It's the alternate timeline future Barry that is the Red Death or Savitar or whatever. And I thought that was super unique. I thought the other Barry was going to become like the Reverse Flash, and he was going to be, the antagonist for the latter half of the movie, which would have been cool. But what they gave us with the whole Red Death thing was super awesome. I'm also okay with that. When he came in to interrupt the two Barrys when they were time traveling and we see the worlds colliding, I was not a fan of the CGI'd Christopher Reeves and his Superman and Supergirl. I thought that was very pointless. I didn't see a reason as to why that one was there. Like, yeah, it's cool, but like, there was no reason for it to be there, and it was all CGI. Like, it would have been cool if it was like an actual Superman actor. Like, maybe we had Brandon Routh's Superman in there from Superman Returns. But I don't know, just another Superman would have been fine. Heck, I mean, you could have just did an animated one since it was all CGI in the first place. But I did think it was cool that we had Nicolas Cage's Superman from Justice League Mortal. I thought that was super cool. Again, I hate that he was all CGI. I think if you would have casted him in there and had him actually act it, it would have been way better, and it would have felt more of like a shock and more like, I don't know, it would have gave a better vibe to me personally. The whole convergence thing, I thought it was lazy. I thought it was really dumb, because that's not what the Flashpoint paradox is really about. And it seems like what they were just trying to do was copy Spider-Man No Way Home. That and like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, or Madness in the Multiverse. Like, it seemed like a lot of copy and paste in this movie. But like, if you're not a DC fan, it doesn't matter. It's a pretty enjoyable movie. I think overall it was a really enjoyable movie. I mean, I would not pay to see it again, to be honest. But I would watch it again if it was on like Max or something like that. It's entertaining, it's enjoyable, not the best, to be honest, but I mean, it doesn't really wrap up the Snyderverse or reset the universe as we were previously told. It did feel more of like a continuation, so I wish they would have actually like wrapped it up, to be honest, because that's really what that movie is. Just that's the end of the Snyderverse or the DCEU. That's the end of it. Now we're going to go into the DCU with the start of Blue Beetle, which is fine. I think it's going to be great. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the movie and how you guys felt, and you know, whether it was met your expectations or not. For me, I don't really think it did. I gave it like a, I probably give it like a 7, maybe 7.5, maybe 7.5. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.